It's really a pleasure and an honor to be here this evening. Rabbi Mapari and his Rabbanit are a legend here in the West Valley. For decades, teaching Torah and spreading Torah and raising their beautiful family of Bnei Torah in the Ohel Rachel. Yaakov Avinu's favorite tent was the Ohel Rachel. Yaakov was Midah Ta'emet. He was the Midah of truth. He was Torah. And that's what goes on here in Ohel Rachel. So I wish to Rabbi Mapari and the Rabbanit continued koach to be Omed HaMamlachto, to continue going in the beautiful ways that you have and to raise such a community to see on a Tuesday evening so many people. I know the food smells very good. I have to tell you, I'm a little bit disappointed in the cuisine tonight. I was coming for the Gondi, instead they give me beef and broccoli instead. I don't know, I lost out. I was wondering which language I should give the shir in tonight. Should I do English? Should I do Farsi? I'm not sure. So I'll speak in Yiddish. If anybody doesn't understand, just let me know, I'll translate. The last Mishnah in all of Shas says the following words. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta, Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta said, Lo matza HaKadosh Baruch Hu kli. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not find a kli, a vessel, machzig bracha Yisrael, that can contain the bracha for the Jewish people, Ella HaShalom, except for Shalom, peace. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give a brachot to all of Klal Yisrael. And He has so much to give. The language of bracha, the Nefesh HaChaim says, is tosefet v'ribui, which means Hashem just wants to add and to give and to let that shefa flow down to this world. No shortage of parnasa, no shortage of shidduchim, no shortage of refuah, of health, no shortage of nachat, of children, no shortage of anything, no shortage of peace in the world and an end to the war. Hashem can do anything. He wants to shower Klal Yisrael with bracha. But if you want to receive the bracha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you need to have a kli, a vessel, to be machzik that can hold that bracha. Imagine you go to 7-Eleven and you want to get yourself a Slurpee, and you're standing there by the machine and you're waiting for the Slurpee to come down. It's not coming. So you press on the button and it starts coming down and it goes all over your hands. You say, wait a second, the last time I was here, there was a cup, I was drinking, and they said, yes, you forgot to put the cup underneath the faucet. If you don't have a cup to put underneath the faucet, it can come and come, it has no place to go. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to give to Klal Yisrael so much bracha, so much good. Parnasa tova, refuah shleima, banim ubanot, tzadikim v'tzidkaniyot. That's what I want to give to Klal Yisrael. But you need a vessel to hold on to it. Says HaKadosh Baruch, I didn't find any other kli, any other vessel that can hold on to the bracha besides Shalom. If there's no peace, if there is no Shalom, we'll have to speak what that means tonight. Then the bracha in one's life is not going to come and it's not going to rest upon them. Shenema, like it says in the Torah, Hashem oz la'amo yiten. Hashem gives strength to His nation. Hashem yivarech et amo b'shalom. Hashem will bless Klal Yisrael with shalom. What does it mean, shalom, to have peace? I would like to suggest tonight that there are 3 types of shalom, of peace, that we need to have in our lives. And if we have one without the other, or 2 without the third, or 1 without 3, so it's going to be very hard for that bracha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to bring to each and every one of us, very difficult for it to rest upon us. Where do we begin? Where does the shalom in our lives begin? It begins right here. A person must be at peace with themselves. Let's forget about the world right now. The world is falling apart. Forget about the wars, and forget about all the governments, and forget about all the forget about all of that right now. Forget about the person that drove you crazy today. Forget about the wife that you screamed at. Forget about the husband that you nagged. Forget about all of that. Forget about the kids that made your hair turn gray. Forget about all of that right now. Nobody else matters in the world right now. Only one person. You. The first place of shalom in a person's life is, am I peaceful? Do I have shalom inside of myself? The Rambam writes in different places, men and women are a configuration of many different kochot, many different powers and strengths, many different midot, many different character traits, many different passions and desires and wants. A person is made up of all of these different things. And everybody knows, if I'm too much in this direction, not good. Too much in this direction, not good. You know, they have something in the world today. It's called euthanasia. You know what? Is that a Persian word? No, it's a medical word. What does euthanasia mean? I believe it is Latin. It means mercy killing. How do you kill somebody with mercy? It means like this: there is a person who, Rahman al-Islam, is lying in the hospital, and the doctor has just condemned them. They have 3 months left to live, and the doctor says, there's no hope, you're never going to get better. So the person says, well, what's going to happen in the next 3 months? He says, well, you're going to get very sick, your body's going to fall apart, you're going to be you won't be able to eat, you won't be able to stand, you won't be able to do anything. It'll be the worst 3 months of your life. So the guy says, so why would I want to go through that? That sounds terrible. So the doctor says, listen, I can help you, my friend. I could kill you mercifully. Well, what does that mean? I'll inject something inside of your IV, and it will kill you. But it'll be very merciful. It'll be very peaceful. You won't have to go through all the pain and all the suffering and everything like that. Everybody in this room understands mercy and killing do not go together. They're 2 opposite extremes. It doesn't work like that. If I'm too excited, or I'm too soft, I'm too kind, or I'm too mean, I'm too arrogant, or I'm too humble, I'm too angry, or I'm too soft and gentle, it doesn't work, says the Rambam. In life, everything has to be derech emtsoi, in the middle of the road. I have to be what's called balanced. And if I'm out of balance, so then I'm going to be missing the shalom. I'll be missing the peace in my life. The Rambam writes in Shmone Prakim, he says the following words: if a person will be weighing out their actions constantly, and he's always directed towards the middle. He wants things to be balanced, no extremes. You'll reach the highest level that a person could reach. And with this you'll get close to Hashem. V'yasig es tuva, you'll reach the goodness. V'zuhi aderech hashlema, this is the pathway of perfection. V'yoser shebedarchi avoda, the best that you could possibly reach. The word shalom, peace, is from the word shalem, which means complete. If a person is out of balance, they are incomplete. If a person gets so excited, just like that, that's not balanced. That's not complete. Sometimes, when you walk down the streets, you can hear screaming and yelling. And you wonder, where's that screaming and yelling coming from? And you listen a little bit carefully. It's not so nice to eavesdrop on people, but you can listen a little bit carefully. You can actually hear people behind the closed doors of their house screaming at each other. Zelo shalom. That's not peace. It's not peace for the one that is screaming. It's not peace for the one that is receiving it. It's out of balance. Says the Rambam, if you want shleimut, you want to be whole, you want to be complete, and that will bring you to shalom, a person must find the shalom, the peace, inside of themselves. I had a Rebbe in yeshiva many, many years ago. Rabbi, you were in Israel also, no? Yeah. Rabbi Kalevsky, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. He was a giant of Torah. He was a giant. He was from the Gedolei Ador of our generation. The last number of years of his life, his eyesight began failing very bad. He had something called, I believe it's called macular degeneration, something of that nature. And he had very big glasses with a magnifying glass on the glasses. We used to have to photocopy the page of the Gemara 200 times the size. And nevertheless, as difficult as his life was, he learned the Torah every day just as he did when his eyes were fine. He gave shiur every day just as it was when he was healthy. There was a boy in the shiur at the time. He was a Baal Tshuva, and he learned in yeshiva in Or Sameach in Muncie. Let's call him Chaim Grossman. And Chaim Grossman was in the shiur. We were very good friends with each other, and we used to learn together and speak together and schmooze together. And one day he comes running over to me. He's panicking. I said, Chaim, is everything okay? He said, no, it's not. I said, what happened? He said, I just made Rabbi Kalevsky angry at me. I said, Rabbi Kalevsky doesn't get angry. Come on. What happened? He said he was in the middle of talking to somebody, and I had a question about something in the shiur. So I was waiting patiently, but I was pushing my way in a little bit towards the conversation. So at one point, I kind of jumped in, and I said, Rabbi, I have a question on the shiur. And Rabbi Kalevsky looked at me and he said, Grossman, is that what they taught you in Or Sameach? You interrupt the conversation? Is that how you talk to a Rebbe? And I froze in my place. I didn't know what to say. And Rabbi Kalevsky turned away and began talking to the other rabbi again, and I walked away. I made him so angry. I don't know what I did. I said, I wouldn't worry so much. Is his eyesight, I don't know, maybe he's having a bad day. It's very uncharacteristic. It took hours for this young man to calm down. The next day he comes running over to me and says, David, you'll never guess what happened. I said, tell me. Rabbi Kalevsky called me over, and he sat me down, and he said, Grossman, please forgive me. Yesterday when I yelled at you, please, I'm not upset with you, I'm not angry at you, please forgive me. I was having a really hard day. I went to the eye doctor. I'm in a lot of pain. The doctor gave me a very negative prognosis about what's going to be with my eyes. I was really having a rough day. Please understand, when I said what I said to you, I did not mean at all to hurt you or to make you feel bad. And this great rabbi said, please forgive me. That is called Shalom. When a person can acknowledge that I'm a little bit unbalanced, when a person can acknowledge that maybe I made a mistake, when a person can acknowledge I'm not perfect, please forgive me for my imperfections, then a person begins to reach a place of Shalom inside of themselves. And once that you reach peace with yourself, then you're ready for the next level of peace in your life. And that is Shalom with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm sure that everybody that is sitting here in this room, and we're not going to look at each other and we're not going to point any fingers, but I am sure that everyone that is sitting in this room tonight has some kind of a difficulty that they are going through, and they ask themselves, or they ask the Ribono Shel Olam, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why in the world are you doing this to me? Did I do something so wrong? Did I deserve this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Am I such a terrible person? What avera are you getting me back for right now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu? I thought it was a tzaddik. I think maybe you meant to go to my neighbor next door, not me. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want you to know that everything that happens in your life, Hakol b'yidei Shemayim, it's all coming from me. And Hakol de'avid Rachmana l'tav avid, everything that Hashem does, that I do, it's all for the good. We say the words. We listen to the shir. We read the books on Amunah. We have 1,000 books on Amunah. We read them all 1,000 times. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends a challenge our way. Something that we weren't expecting. Something that throws us off a little bit. Something that's very hard to deal with. And suddenly all of the Amunah, woo, out the window. Every shir that we went to, Hashem, believe, everything is good. What? What's that talking about? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you want peace in your life. You want peace in this world. You must make peace with Hashem. The Ramban writes in the Torah, as Avraham Avinu was being commanded to go up to the Akedah to take his son Yitzchak and shecht him on the altar. The Torah tells us, Ve'elokim nisa es Avraham. Hashem tested Avraham. Says the Ramban on that verse over there, what does it mean, a test? A nisayon, a test is to be motzi koach el hapoel, to bring all of the potential that you have inside of you, bring it into this world like you never did before. Every challenge that a person will go through in their life, every test that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent to you, and not to your wife, and not to your children, and not to your brother, or your sister, or your uncle, or your aunt, or the Mama June, and the Baba June, and everybody else. He sent it only to you, is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows that you have so much potential inside of you. This is the nisayon that is going to bring it out into your life. Like it says in Tehillim, Lamatzeach leDavid, the pasuk says over there, Hagitis, that David HaMelech is praising the Ribono Shel Olam because he has made his relationship with Klal Yisrael like a gitit, like a wine press. Thank you, Hashem. You're like a wine press with Klal Yisrael. What is the great praise of that? Says of Hirsch, you know what a wine press does? You take the grapes, you put them into the press, and you crush them down. And when you're looking at that crushing thing, you look like you're destroying the grapes. They're getting ruined. They're getting destroyed. They're falling apart. They're getting all pulpy. Says of Hirsch, it's not true. He's crushing the grapes in order to bring out the juice that is inside. And from that juice, either you're going to have a nice bottle of kedem on your Shabbat table, or you're going to put it into some barrels over there, up north a little bit in Herzog, and you're going to have a delicious glass of wine. The crushing brings out the best in the grapes. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings the struggles in our life, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings the challenges in our life, when He sends the Nisoy an hour away, which He didn't send to anybody else in this room, just me, it's because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to bring out the best that is inside of me. Do you believe that? Do you live like that? Or do you walk around complaining to Hashem? Do you walk around bemoaning your fate in this world? I can't believe what's happening to me. Why, Hashem? I don't understand. I just can't believe it. I thought I was so good. I thought I was such a tzaddik. I thought everything was great. Why, Hashem? Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why don't you and I make peace together? Everything I do, it's all toiv, it's all good. Gamzu l'tova. This is also for the good. But you need to believe that, and you need to bring that into your heart, and you need to understand that that is true, and then when you do that, Shalom, you are Shalom, you are complete with the Ribbono Shel Olam. About 31 years ago, in Eretz Yisrael, don't want to date myself, but I was a bacher in yeshiva at that time. And there was a very big tragedy that took place. There was a young soldier, I believe he was about 19 or 20 years old. His name was Nachshon Waxman. He was abducted by Hamas, and he was tied up. And a video was sent to the Israeli army with a Hamas fellow in a katifa, whatever they call it. Yeah. Kafia, thank you. And a gun to the head of Nachshon Waxman. And they said the following: either you release, who at that time was like the biggest terrorist in all of Hamas that was in the prison, release him, and 200 other terrorists along with him, or at 8 o'clock on Friday night, we are going to kill this young man. And they said, Israel, the decision is yours. It's either our terrorist out of prison, or this man is going to be killed. He was abducted on I believe on a Sunday or a Monday. The week is going along, and they received this video. And the mother and the father of Nachshon Waxman, they begin making pleas to the public. Please, they said, daven, pray for our son. And they arranged for a tefillah at the Kotel HaMaravi. 100,000 Jews came together to pray for his release. Hasidim and Sephardim and Yerushalmis and religious and not religious and everyone under the sun that you could imagine. All of Klal Yisrael came together, ba'achdus, as one. And they prayed and they prayed and they prayed and they poured out their heart to Hashem. They begged Him, please let this man go free. That week on Shabbat, the mother, she begged all of the women of Klal Yisrael, if you don't usually light Shabbat candles, I beg you for a zechut for my son, please light candles this week. And something about 20,000 women told her that they have not lit candles maybe ever, or since their bat mitzvah, they lit candles that Shabbat. On Friday night, the army decided that they're going to have to go and do a rescue mission and save Nachshon Waxman. And so they had an elite team that went into this small village where he was. They knew exactly where he was. As we see in these days, they know exactly where everybody is. And they go on this mission Friday night before 8 o'clock, before they're going to kill him. And the mission, sadly, is a failure. Not only was the chief commander of that platoon, was he killed, but they killed Nachshon Waxman as well. 100,000 people at the Kotel. 20,000 women lighting candles. The whole week, Klal Yisrael doing mitzvot, getting together ba'achdut, trying to save this man's life. And at the end, he gets murdered. The parents find out Friday night. The army comes to tell them the terrible news. It's Shabbat, there's nothing that you can do. Shabbat is over. And they're getting ready for the Levaya. In Eretz Yisrael, things move very fast. They got the body back immediately. They're going to bury their youngest son. And the news of Israel, who don't seem to understand the social cues, they come to the house of the Waxman family as they're getting ready to go to the Levaya, to the funeral. And the mother's walking out the door. And the newscaster comes and he sticks the microphone in front of her and he says, Mrs. Waxman, so many people prayed for your son that he should be saved. So many people came together on his behalf. They did mitzvot. 100,000 people at the Kotel just the other day came there and they all prayed for him. And today you find out your son is dead. What do you say about that? Where was God? And this mother tzadikah, she looks at the camera and the newscaster, which is going to speak volumes to the entire world. And she said, Avinu Shebashamayim, our Father in heaven, just like every father, he always wants to say yes. Every father loves their children and they want only what is best for them. But sometimes a father must say no. And we are not privileged to understand the reason why. But today, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said no. And now we're going to bury our son be'emuna shleima in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Have you made peace with Hashem? Imagine the most difficult thing that you went through this past year. Imagine the test that keeps coming back again and again and again, the difficulties, the ups and the downs. Are you at peace with the Ribono Shel Olam? Do you say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ani mekabel al atzmi, I trust you, Hashem. Kol the Ovid, Rachmanu letav Ovid, I believe you, everything you do is good. I can't always see. I don't always know. But I trust you, Hashem. And I believe in you, Hashem. You need to make peace with Hashem. It's been a difficult year. A lot of people have things in their life that are very painful. Make peace with Hashem. When you make peace with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He makes peace with you. And the last thing, of course, that we need to have shalom with is shalom, peace with Klal Yisrael. Chazal tell us in Pirkei Avot, Hevi mekabel et kol adam besever panim yafot. You must greet every single person with a shining countenance. Smile at everyone. Asks one of the Mefarshim, the Medrash Shmuel, everyone? What about the person that was very mean to you this year? What about the person who embarrassed you? What about the person who hurt your feelings? Okay, now let's get past husbands and wives. What about everybody else in the world? No one's laughing at that joke, I see. You have to accept everybody with a smiling face? You have to greet everybody happily? Says the Midrash Shmuel, yes, everybody. You know why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent that person into your life to also be part of the challenges, to bring out the best midot inside of you. And if you get upset with that person, you know who you're really getting upset with? Hashem. You don't want to be someone that's upset with Hashem. And therefore receive them all shining, smiling face. The Mekubalim write, this is a Sephardi Beit HaKnesset, so we can speak Kabbalah. The Mekubalim, the mystics, they tell us that all of Klal Yisrael is like Guf Echad, we're like one body. We're one person. You love yourself. You love your body. You would not go and end up hurting part of your body, would you? Now, even though that I'm sure that there's parts of your body that you might not like. You might not like your nice Jewish nose. You might not like it. But you wouldn't cut it off. It's part of your body. You might not like the fact that you don't have such a six-pack going on down here. It's more like a belly pack. But you would not cut off your stomach. You wouldn't do such a thing. If you don't like the way that your hands look, you don't like the way that your eyes look, you don't like the way that your hair looks. Okay, we live in a world in Hollywood, you can fix up anything, but you wouldn't cut it off. You wouldn't destroy it. It's all part of who you are. So you leave it where it is. So too, every single Jew is part of a klal, part of the bigger picture. And as a result of that, you don't cut off another Jew. You don't get rid of them. You don't put them down. You don't cast them away. Kol Yisrael arevim zeh bazeh. We are all guarantors. We are all responsible for each other. We have to love one another. We have to be able to see the good in someone else. That means in your spouse. That means in your children. That means in your parents. That means, yes, even in your in-laws, you must find the good in them. That's a very sensitive subject here, I see. I know. Been dealing with this for many years already. I know. It's okay. Barbecue at the in-laws on Sunday, every Sunday for the rest of your life, it's a good thing. We have to be ba'achdut. We have to be together. We have to be one. Everybody counts. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're all of His children. Is there a parent that loves one child more than the other? Deep down, the parent loves each child uniquely and specially, but not one more than the other. And so to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He loves each and every one of us. And when He sees His children fighting, when He sees His children at odds with each other, when He sees machloket rachmana litzlan, that's the greatest pain in the world to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Hashem says, you made peace with yourself? You made peace with me, says Hashem? You have one group left to make peace with. That's with Klal Yisrael. Now that's a little bit more difficult. Klal Yisrael is very complicated. People will always frustrate you. They will always let you down. They will always disappoint you. I learned a very valuable lesson over life. Just don't have any expectations. If you expect nothing from anyone, you'll never be let down. Because you weren't expecting anything anyway. So when they don't show up, and when they don't make dinner, and when they make a face at you, and when they cheat you in the deal, and when they do this to you, and when they give the house, they rent the house out to somebody else instead of you, but you're waiting for it for the last 3 years. When, you say, you know what? I'm not expecting anything anyway. Just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu must not expect really too much of me, because He continues to let me around here, even though that I'm falling way short in every mitzvah, but I'm excelling in every Avera, Baruch Hashem. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu continues to allow me to be here. That means that his level of expectations is quite low. I have to learn from Hashem. Set your expectations low, and then you will be able to embrace every single Jew and make peace with them instead of being at odds, being angry, upset, frustrated, disappointed, calling them names, speaking Lashon Hara. Forget about that. That's not the way of Klal Yisrael. That's not our way. Our way is to love Ahavat Yisrael, to love every single Jew. I want to tell you, and maybe leave you off with a very powerful story. I heard this story several years ago from a rabbi by the name of Rabbi Shimon Russell. He works very much with the unfortunate machla, the unfortunate sickness that goes on in Klal Yisrael today. Children that are struggling, that are off the derech, off the pathways of Yiddishkeit. Something happens somewhere along their journey in this world, in their life, and they take a turn for the worse, and many, many things happen before we hope and pray that they come back, but it doesn't always happen. There was a family living in Lakewood, and they had a son whose name was Yitzi. And Yitzi, sadly, had gone off of the derech of Yiddishkeit. No longer eating kosher, no longer putting on tefillin, Shabbat, no more. Wearing his jeans and his t-shirt, his defiant face, the whole story. And the parents were having a very hard time. How to deal with him, how to embrace him, how to love him, how do we educate, what do we do? Very difficult. So one Friday night, the father's leaving to go to the Beit HaKnesset, and he goes and he knocks on Yitzi's door and he says, Yitzi, would you like to come to shul with me tonight? And he says, no. Okay. Father goes by himself. He comes home, they sing Shalom Aleichem around the table, Eshet Chayil, they're getting ready for Kiddush. Yitzi's still not there. As the father is about to make Kiddush, suddenly they hear the door open, and Yitzi comes storming down the staircase. Jeans, t-shirt, yarmulke, no yarmulke, I don't even know. And he walks into the room, and the father says, oh, Yitzi, so nice of you to come. The mother, oh, Yitzi, we're so happy that you're here. The kids, oh, Yitzi, it's so wonderful, we missed you. And the father's standing to make Kiddush. And Yitzi is moving backwards towards the wall of the dining room. And he knows exactly where he's walking. He's walking right towards the light switch. Friday night, the father's making Kiddush. Yoy ma'ashishin vayechulu hashamayim v'aretz v'chol tzvam. And Yitzi is moving back another step. And the father, out of the corner of his eye, is watching, what is my son doing? And suddenly he walks back one more step. Oops! He knocks into the light switch, and the lights in the dining room turn off. Friday night, Shabbat. The father loses it. He drops the Kiddush cup, and he says, you! And he starts running after his son. And his son starts running around the table, and the mother's screaming, stop, stop, and the kids are trying to get in the way of the father, and he's saying, stop, stop, and the father's chasing after his son, and they're running around the table, and the Yitzi finally runs out of the house, and as he runs out of the house, he sees there's a shovel that's on the ground, that's been some work going on in the house. He picks up the shovel, and he goes to all the windows in the house, he begins smashing all the windows. And he drops the shovel, and he runs away from the house. Friday night, Shabbat. The father, the mother, the children, they are besides themselves. They can't believe the father's so embarrassed of himself. He's running around like a little, can't believe what just happened. Shabbat is over, and they get a call. It's the uncle. And he says, don't worry. Yitzi came running to my house. He's welcome to stay here. I don't think he's coming home right now. Not a good idea. The parents called Rabbi Russell, who is the mumchi, is the expert in these things. And they explained to him what took place, and he said, okay, listen, we're going to start working together. I'm going to teach you about the mindset of your son. I'm going to help you understand what he's going through. I'm going to get you to a place where you'll be able to embrace him and not be angry with him. It's going to be hard work. Are you ready? Yes, they said, we're ready. And for the next 6 months, Yitzi is over there by his uncle, doing his thing. He doesn't come home. They don't make contact, really. But they're working and working and working, and they're getting to a place where they feel that they could welcome him back into their house. And then one day the phone rings. And it's the uncle. And he says, Yitzi asked me to ask you, he misses you, and he wants to know, could he come home for Shabbat this week? And the parents said, of course. We miss him too. Let him know how much we love him. We've been waiting and waiting for this. So I'm going to tell him he'll come home. They call Rabbi Russell in a panic. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. This week, Shabbos, he's coming. He says, okay, let's stay calm. We've been training for 6 months. You know what to do. You know how to react or not to react. You know how to smile. You know not to frown. You know to hug, not too much. You know exactly what to do. And then the father said, but what happens if the same thing repeats itself? What if he turns off the lights again by Kiddush? He says, you're going to stay calm. You're not going to get angry. You're not going to go crazy. You're going to deal with it. Friday afternoon, there's a knock on the door. They open it up. Yitzi, you came home. Wow, we missed you. It's been so long. Come in, come in. Mommy made your favorite treats, your favorite cakes and your cookies and everything that you love to eat so much. Come in. And he still looks the same. The jeans, the t-shirt. Face doesn't really look so happy. But he's overwhelmed by the love that he's receiving. And they say, Yitzi, your room is all ready for you. We left it exactly the way that you left it. It's all yours. Go ahead. Go ahead, take a shower, get ready. We're so much looking forward to spending Shabbat with you. He goes upstairs. Father's getting ready. He's on his way off to the Beit HaKnesset. He knocks on the door. Yitzi, would you like to come with me? No, Tati, no, Abba, it's okay. I'll come down for Kiddush instead. Kiddush, okay. The father goes to shul. He comes back. And they start singing Shalom Aleichem. Yitzi's not down. Eshet Chayil. They're making it a little bit slow. Give him time to come down. He's not coming. Father looks at the mother looks at the father. The kids are all getting nervous. What's going to be? Father's about to make Kiddush. And suddenly they hear the door open from upstairs, and Yitzi comes down the stairs. And suddenly they're having deja vu. It's another Persian word. They're having deja vu. They're remembering what took place 6 months ago. The scene is looking awfully familiar. Father ready to make Kiddush. Yitzi in his jeans and his t-shirt. He's not sitting at the table with everybody else. There you go. Oh, see, we passed the test. Yitzi hung up.
Yitzi also hung up.
And the father begins making Kiddush. Yoy Mashishi. And everybody has their eyes on Yitzi. And guess what? He's slowly moving back towards the wall. And the father continues. And Yitzi is moving farther and farther. And suddenly they see him standing right by the wall in the same place by the light switch. And as the father continues on with Kiddush, he keeps telling himself, if he turns off the light, don't get upset. Oops! He bangs into the light switch and he turns off the light once again. But this time, the father just continues making Kiddush and doesn't say a word. The mother is standing there, the children are standing there, and Yitzi is standing waiting to see, what is my father going to do now? The father finishes Kiddush. He pours out the wine into all of the cups. He walks over to his son with a cup in his hand and he says, I wish I knew then what I know now. What happened 6 months ago never would have happened if I just would have understood.
Louder, please.
That never would have happened if I just would have understood. And at that moment, Yitzi, with the defiant face on, he just starts crying. And he leans his arms on his father and he begins crying, and the father starts crying, and he's having like convulsions of crying. And the next thing you know, the mother walks over, and the mother throws herself onto the father and the son, and she starts crying. And the next thing you know, one kid comes and another kid. Before you know it, all of the family are standing around a circle. They're just crying and crying and crying and crying. And that night was the beginning of the healing, of the refuah, of Yitzi and his entire family. That boy went on to be Choser B'Tshuva. He became once again a religious young man. And it's all because there were parents that opened up their hearts with love and understanding and patience and respect. And they made him feel that he's as valuable as anyone else. When you make peace with yourself, when you make peace with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you make peace with Klal Yisrael around you, says the Rebbeinu Shalom, that I never found Leimatza HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kli Machzik Bracha Yisrael Ela Shalom. There is no vessel that is as good as peace, where I can rest all of my brachot. The Vilna Gaon says on this Mishnah, when you have a barrel and there's wood slats that are around the barrel, if they're loose and you put liquid inside, what happens? Whatever's going in, the wine, the water, the scotch, is all going to come out. But if the slats are very tight next to each other, so then you can put in the finest wine, and it'll stay in that barrel until you take it out. Says the Vilna Gaon, when Klal Yisrael is together as one, like the slats in the barrel that are pushing against each other with love and endearment, Hashem says, I will put in all of the bracha, parnasa, shidduchim, children, briut, health, whatever it is that you need, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can bring it all. But we must become the kli, the vessel, that's able to accept all of the bracha from Hashem. Hashem oz la'amo yitein, Hashem yivarech et amo b'shalom. May we be zoche bezat Hashem, that we spend the time during these 3 weeks to get involved not only in the delicious Chinese food that's together with the Mexican food and the chips, but we spend our time wisely getting into the world of Shalom, the world of peace. Peace with ourselves, peace with Hashem, peace with Klal Yisrael, And then HaKadosh Baruch will shower us with the brachot that He wants to, the ultimate bracha, and that is the binyan, bayit shlishi, b'mheira v'yomeinu.